The Philharmonia taught me an awful lot. They were very patient with me and incredibly supportive and incredibly nice. They are just very positive. In September 1983, I conducted the Philharmonia Orchestra for the first time. I do remember the feeling quite well when I stepped in front of this orchestra. And I was somehow expecting something a little more arrogant and tough and I was expecting difficulties, simply. And instead, what did I find? I found an amazing group of players who were very warm, extremely supportive and open. A couple of minutes into the first movement of Mahler 3, I felt I'm actually conducting this orchestra. I'm not just like a tourist who is visiting and going along with this great orchestra, but I felt I was conducting, and that was an amazing feeling. I've had a very, very productive and close relationship with the orchestra since, and my feeling, of course, is that I'm going to be conducting them as long as I'm conducting, period. I mean, I was obviously flattered, and it felt very organic and very natural for me to assume that role, because I knew them, they knew me, both sides knew what they were getting, both musically and personally and so on. And I said to the orchestra when I met them for the first time, I said, so this is one of the longest courtships in history. And I must say, in all honesty, the Philharmonia taught me an awful lot when I was very young and very inexperienced and often tackling these big pieces in the repertoire for the first time. They were very patient with me and incredibly supportive and incredibly nice. Something about the nature of the Philharmonia as an organism, that they are just very positive. I think they felt, in my case, and most likely in the case of other young conductors who have then become like household names for them, that, all right, this is some kind of an investment we're making here. So we think that this person one day will be able to really deliver. And it might not be today, it might not be next week, but maybe a few seasons down the line and so on. And of course, by doing this, they also create this kind of, I would say, lifelong loyalty. It's a very, can be a very emotional experience for the person who is standing on the box. Because sometimes you feel that there's an embrace. The collective embraces you. And in the best moments, you feel that they're actually carrying you on some kind of wave of energy. And that makes this conducting part so fascinating. Because no 2 days are alike in this way. And it never gets old. And I guess for all of us, the musicians and conductors and the audience alike, we love this because it's something bigger than the sum of its parts. Well, I once asked a young Philharmonia string player how she learnt how to make the Philharmonia sound. This kind of luminous, warm, but also at times transparent sound, which kind of sets it apart from other orchestras, and especially other London orchestras. She said there's no real verbal instruction. Nobody tells her, do this. It's more like you hear something and then you kind of see how it's done. But then she said, it's a two-way street in the sense that a certain type of player gravitates towards the Philharmonia. Somebody who wants to produce that kind of sound. It's an interesting equation because somebody who is already on the way to that kind of sound then joins the orchestra, and then to actually be part of that sound is not such a leap anymore because they would want to be there anyway. Well, I do think that music is a biological need. We're hardwired for music. And especially, music to accompany us during the pivotal moments in life, like getting married or, dying. So there's music as ritual. And I think that there's something about the ritual of going to a concert. You're allowed to sit there and be swept away by something for a couple of hours. And somebody has curated a couple of hours of music out of all music out there. So you don't have to do it yourself. So it's been done for you. Everyone who's in the Royal Festival Hall that night is there for one reason, and that's the music. We're all there because we love music, and we love this kind of music. I think it's liberating. It's communal, and it's liberating, and it's very deep. So I think that's the reason why we still have it, and that's the reason why I think we will still have it well into the next century. Happy birthday, Philharmonia!